creepy videos before, but not like these.
I'm so over this house and I'm over the
Hey!
From a wife caught on camera with pitch black eyes staring from a bathtub,
Paige! Paige!
to a masked man kissing a family's doorbell camera at midnight. Every clip on this list will crawl under your skin and stay there. Some call them coincidences. Others call them proof that something dark is living among us. Whatever they are, once you watch these 25 creepy clips, you'll never forget what you've seen. Piranha-faced creature in woods. You know those clips where people swear they saw something not quite human? This one might be the worst of them all. It started as a quiet walk near a rented cottage deep in the countryside. The man filming said he only wanted to explore the woods before it got dark. But a few minutes into his walk, he heard branches snapping ahead. Then he heard slow, deliberate steps, like something following him. When he turned his camera toward the noise, the light caught a monstrous figure standing between the trees. At first, it looked human. Then it stepped closer. Its skin was slick, gray, and stretched so tight you could see every bone underneath. Patches of wet hair hung over its face, and when it opened its mouth, rows of needle-like teeth filled the frame. It made a clicking noise, low and fast, like an animal trying to mimic a voice. The man whispered in shock, "What is that?" before it lurched toward him. The camera shook, then went black. The video ends suddenly, and no one knows what happened next. Bathroom spirit. He and his wife had been hearing strange noises for weeks. Whispers in empty rooms, footsteps when no one was there, and the bathroom door creaking in the middle of the night. They decided to record everything to prove they weren't imagining it. That night, they were both awake when the noises started again. His wife went to check the bathroom first, while he followed with the camera. The door suddenly slammed shut behind her so hard that the whole frame shook.
I'm so over this house and I'm over the filming and
He called her name, but there was no answer. When the door finally creaked open by itself, she was sitting in the bathtub, motionless. Her eyes were completely black, and her face was blank. It looked like something else had taken her over. The door then slammed again before he could move closer. He later claimed that the same force had been targeting her for weeks. Viewers begged for updates, but he never answered and eventually deleted the video. White House lobby shapeshift. The clip appeared online late at night with no title, just a few seconds of silent security footage. It showed a woman standing in the lobby of what looked like the White House, waiting near the entrance and casually fixing her hair. For the first few seconds, everything seemed normal, until her reflection flickered. Her head tilted slightly, her face blurred, and her eyes turned completely white. Her mouth stretched into a disturbing grin that didn't look human. Then, in an instant, her features snapped back to normal as if nothing had happened. The entire transformation lasted less than 2 seconds, but viewers who paused the footage frame by frame swore it was real. Some claimed it proved that shapeshifters exist inside government buildings. Others insisted it was possession caught on camera. The uploader never revealed where the video came from, and it was quickly removed after going viral. Forest Possession Girl. If you think you've seen scary possession videos before, think again. This one feels too real, too raw to ignore. It happened late in the evening when the girl's family rushed outside after hearing her scream near the edge of the woods. The camera shook as her relatives tried to hold her down. but her body bent backward in a way no one could explain. Her neck twisted, her arms jerked, and her eyes rolled back until only white showed. It looked like something invisible was pulling her away from the house toward the forest. Her mother's cries filled the air as neighbors shouted prayers in panic. Viewers said they couldn't finish the clip without turning away. Later, villagers claimed the area was haunted and that an evil spirit had tried to claim her soul. The family never posted again, leaving everyone wondering what really happened that night. Reptilian girl at Islamic lecture. It happened during a crowded lecture by an Islamic scholar, the kind of event where everything is filmed for social media. The speaker was reciting verses from the Quran when the camera panned across the audience. For a moment, it stopped on a young woman sitting quietly, looking straight ahead. Then, something impossible happened. Her eyes shifted. The pupils narrowed into thin reptilian slits that shimmered under the lights. It lasted only a few seconds before changing back, but you could see people in the background noticing it too. The cameraman zoomed out quickly, almost as if realizing what he had just captured. Viewers online were horrified, claiming it was proof of something not human reacting to the sacred words. Others tried to call it a light trick, but the timing made it too hard to dismiss. Even skeptics admitted the footage was deeply unsettling. Serbian dancing lady. This clip feels like an urban legend come to life. It was filmed around 3 in the morning by a man who heard faint humming outside his apartment window. When he stepped onto his balcony and zoomed in, he saw a woman in a long black dress dancing alone in the empty street. Her movements were slow and uneven, almost like she was following music no one else could hear. At first, he thought it was a drunk passerby, until she stopped. Without warning, she turned her head sharply toward the camera and looked straight at him. Her smile widened, frozen and unnatural, as if she had known he was there the entire time. The man whispered a curse and dropped his phone, too scared to keep filming. When the clip spread online, people claimed it was the infamous Serbian dancing lady, a figure said to appear before something terrible happens. Masked porch intruder. It was just after midnight when the family's Ring camera sent an alert. On the porch stood a man wearing a dark jacket and a white mask, staring straight into the lens. His voice sounded calm at first, but there was something strange about the way he spoke.
I know you're in there.
"Let me in," he said slowly. "Your son's home."
Let me in. Your son's home.
The parents froze. They called their real son, and when he picked up, he was terrified to hear what was happening because he was miles away. They shouted through the intercom for the man to leave, but he didn't move. Instead, he leaned close to the camera, breathing heavily as he pressed his lips against the lens. He kissed it once, then again, smearing the glass before whispering something no one could understand. Then he backed away into the darkness. Viewers said it didn't look like a prank. It looked like something devilish, patiently waiting to be invited inside. Subway Screaming Man. New Yorkers are used to strange things underground, but no one on that train was prepared for what they heard that night. A passenger began recording when a man near the center of the car suddenly threw his head back and started screaming. The sound that came out wasn't one voice. It was several. His pitch shifted from deep growls to piercing shrieks, blending together in a way that didn't seem possible for a human throat. Everyone froze. Some covered their ears, others just stared, too afraid to move. The man's eyes rolled upward, his hands trembling as he gripped the pole, but his body never collapsed. Then, just as suddenly as it started, he stopped. The train doors opened, and he calmly stepped off, like nothing had happened. People online argued about possession, psychosis, or something else entirely. But most agreed on one thing. That sound didn't belong to this world. Goat-legged man. Some clips look fake right away, but this one doesn't. A hiker was filming a travel vlog while walking through a quiet mountain trail when he spotted another man coming down the path. At first, nothing seemed strange. The man wore a jacket, jeans, and a backpack like any other hiker. But as he walked past, the camera caught something that made the filmer gasp. His right leg wasn't human. It was covered in thick brown fur and ended in a narrow, hoof-shaped foot that clacked against the rocks. The stranger kept walking as if nothing was wrong, completely unaware, or pretending not to be. The hiker whispered, "What the hell is that?" while zooming in, but the man never turned around. Some people said it was a costume. Others claimed it was proof of a real half-human creature. Either way, no one could explain why his gait looked so naturally inhuman. Floating possessed man. This shocking video was filmed late at night on a quiet street in Indonesia. A man was walking home when he noticed a group of people crowded around someone lying on the ground. At first, it looked like a fight, but then he realized the man in the center wasn't touching the ground at all. His body hovered just a few inches above it, jerking violently as if invisible hands were pulling him upward. When the cameraman shouted, asking what was happening, one of the men turned and yelled, "Keep moving!" The group began praying loudly, their voices shaking with fear. The possessed man's eyes rolled back, and a deep growl came from his throat that didn't sound human. The clip spread quickly online, and viewers said it was one of the few possession videos that felt completely real. White-eyed building man. You know those ghost hunting videos where nothing ever happens? This one isn't like that. A paranormal explorer entered an abandoned building at night, recording every step with his flashlight on. The place was silent. There were no creaks, no voices, until his light caught movement at the far end of the hall. A man was standing there, completely still. When the explorer called out, the figure began walking toward him, slow and steady. Then the light hit his face, and everyone who's seen the clip knows what came next. His eyes were pure white, with no pupils at all. The explorer gasped, stumbled back, and you can actually hear him whisper, "No way! No way!" before slamming the door shut and sprinting out. Some people online said it was a setup, but most agreed it looked far too real. Even skeptics admitted one thing: whatever that man was, he wasn't normal. Sinister wedding ritual. It was supposed to be a happy moment, but the video of this wedding went viral for all the wrong reasons. The clip shows a crowded Turkish wedding hall filled with music and laughter. Everything seems normal until the camera pans across a group of guests. That's when it happens. An older woman standing behind the young bride's friend quickly pricked her shoulder with a small needle, so fast you might miss it if you blink. The young woman turned around, startled, but the older guest smiled like nothing happened. When the video surfaced online, viewers slowed it down frame by frame, and that's when theories started flying. Some said the needle was part of a black magic ritual meant to collect blood for a curse. Others said it was jealousy or revenge disguised as tradition. The woman's identity was never revealed, and no one knows what happened to the girl afterward. Church possession, Hudson Lutheran Church. This one's new, and that's what makes it so disturbing. The footage was recorded in early 2025 inside the Hope Lutheran Church in Hudson. It showed a man kneeling in prayer near the front pews, completely alone. At first, everything seemed peaceful. until his body started to move in ways that didn't make sense. His back bent far beyond what's humanly possible. His arms twisted behind him, and his head jerked backward, like something was pulling him from inside. The motion was so sudden that the church lights flickered at the same moment, as if reacting to whatever's happening. Viewers were split. Some said it was a clear case of possession caught on CCTV, while others believed it was part of a dark ritual gone wrong. The man's identity was never revealed, and the church reportedly denied the video's existence, but you can still find fragments of it online if you look hard enough. Super Bowl voodoo ritual. Sports fans have done some strange things for luck, but this one crossed the line. During the Super Bowl, a clip began spreading online showing a woman sitting on her couch wearing a green Eagles jersey. On the table in front of her was a small handmade doll, dressed in a red Chiefs uniform with the number 15 stitched on its back, Patrick Mahomes. Without saying a word, she picked up a needle and began stabbing the doll again and again, muttering something under her breath. Some people thought she was joking, but she never smiled once. The camera stayed steady the whole time, like someone else was filming her. When the Chiefs started to lose, viewers couldn't believe the timing. Comment sections exploded, calling it a voodoo curse caught on camera. Others said it was superstition gone too far. The woman's account disappeared the next day, and no one ever found out who she was. Mountain ritual figures. Some discoveries in the wild stay with you forever. A family was hiking up a quiet mountain trail, recording their trip for fun, when they spotted something that made them stop cold. Near the hilltop stood a group of figures dressed in white robes, perfectly still and facing a tall stone structure none of them had seen before. The air seemed completely silent. No birds, no wind, nothing. The father zoomed in, whispering, "What are they doing?" None of the figures moved, but after a few seconds, one slowly turned its head toward the camera, followed by the others. The family panicked and started backing away, but the figures just stood there, watching. People who saw the video said it looked like a ritual interrupted, possibly something ancient or forbidden. The family never went back to find out what it was, and honestly, who would? Wendy Williams collapse. Live TV. It happened live on national television, and people still can't stop replaying it. During her Halloween broadcast in 2017, talk show host Wendy Williams stood on stage dressed as the Statue of Liberty, smiling as the audience cheered. Then, something changed. Her eyes widened, her words started to slur, and her hands trembled as she tried to steady herself. For a few terrifying seconds, she looked frozen, her face twisted in panic. Then she collapsed straight to the floor. The broadcast immediately cut to commercials, leaving viewers stunned. When the show returned, Wendy said she had simply overheated in her costume.
That was not a stunt. I'm overheated in my costume and I did pass out. But you know what? I'm a champ and I'm back.
But those who watched it live said the look in her eyes before she fell didn't seem like heat exhaustion at all. It looked like something had taken control for just a moment, something no one could explain. Kenneth Copeland creepy sermon. If you've ever seen Kenneth Copeland preach, you already know his style can get intense. But this particular sermon went way beyond that. The clip shows him on stage in front of a massive crowd, preaching about demons in flesh. As he speaks, his voice suddenly changes, dropping to a deep, rasping tone that doesn't sound like him at all.
And we have a healing covenant.
His smile stretches wider, his eyes narrow, and for a few seconds he just stares at the audience without blinking. People in the front row actually look uncomfortable, glancing at each other like they're not sure what's happening. When reporters later asked him about the incident, his answer was just as unsettling. He said, "We wrestle not with flesh and blood."
We wrestle not with flesh and blood.
Before giving the same eerie grin seen in the clip. Viewers called it one of the most disturbing moments ever caught during a sermon. LA face shift. It happened in broad daylight in the middle of downtown Los Angeles. A taxi passenger was filming through the window when he noticed a man crossing the street. At first, there was nothing strange about him, just another pedestrian walking past cars. Then, right in front of the camera, his face twisted, the skin shifting in a way no human face should move. For a split second, his eyes seemed to sink deeper, his jaw stretched wider, and then everything snapped back to normal. The passenger gasped and replayed the clip immediately, convinced it wasn't a reflection or camera glitch. When the footage hit the internet, some people blamed video compression, but others said it was evidence of something darker, proof of entities hiding in plain sight. The man in the clip was never identified, and what's worse, the original video disappeared just days after it went viral. Lady Gaga, freeze, and slow walk. Crowds and cameras are nothing new for Lady Gaga, but this moment left even her fans speechless. During a live media event, she was answering questions when her expression went blank. Her eyes lost focus, and she froze completely. Not blinking, not breathing, not moving for almost 2 full minutes. Reporters shifted nervously, unsure if it was part of a stunt or something seriously wrong. Then, just as suddenly, she blinked, smiled, and continued talking as if nothing had happened. Another clip from London showed her leaving a hotel surrounded by paparazzi. This time, she moved in slow, trance-like steps, gliding past flashing lights, while everyone else moved at normal speed. The strange thing is, no one around her reacted. Whatever it was, both moments looked too real and too strange to be explained away. Invisible mind friend. Sometimes the quietest clips are the ones that stay with you the longest. In this CCTV footage from a mine in Chile, a worker can be seen walking down a dimly lit tunnel, talking as if someone is beside him. He pauses, laughs, and even gestures toward the empty space next to him. Then he stops completely and extends his hand into the air as if greeting someone only he can see. The cameras show no one there, no shadows, no movement at all. When the video surfaced, people speculated he was speaking to the spirit of a miner who had died in that same shaft years earlier. Others suggested exhaustion or isolation had made him hallucinate. But the most chilling part is how calm he looks, like he's meeting an old friend. The company later confirmed the footage was real, but refused to comment further on what it might show. Haunted Alzheimer's house. This clip feels more tragic than any jump scare ever could. A man caring for his elderly grandmother decided to record the strange things happening in her house at night. His grandmother, who suffered from Alzheimer's, would wake up and wander the halls, muttering and performing odd hand gestures as if she were speaking to someone who wasn't there. The footage shows her standing in the kitchen, whispering and waving slowly at the empty air. Then something even stranger happens. The family's robot vacuum stops at the doorway and refuses to go in. It turns, backs away, and suddenly flips over on its own, its lights blinking as if something invisible had pushed it. The man uploaded the video, saying it happened only in that room and only when his grandmother was inside. Viewers said it didn't feel like a haunting case where a ghost targets a home. It felt like something mysterious in the house was drawn to her and reacting to her presence. Waterfront shadow figure. Late at night on a waterfront property, motion sensors triggered an alarm, and the cameras switched to night vision. At first, there was nothing but calm water. Then, a shadowy human-like shape began rising from the surface. It looked solid, not a reflection or fog, but something standing up where no one should be. One of the guards on duty approached with a flashlight, calling out to see if anyone was there. The moment his light hit the water, the figure started moving toward him. He froze, then ducked behind a concrete wall, clearly terrified. The security feed caught the shape drifting closer before it vanished completely. When the clip leaked online, viewers slowed it down frame by frame, claiming they could see arms and a face just before it disappeared back into the water. If that's real, then something could be living beneath us. Airbender in parking lot. This clip looked harmless at first, but it got unsettling fast. A man was standing in an empty parking lot while someone filmed from a distance. The ground was covered with dry leaves, and there was no wind at all. Then he lifted his hands slowly, and the leaves began to swirl and move, not randomly, but following his motions perfectly, like he was controlling them. He pushed his arms forward, and the leaves scattered. He pulled them back, and they rushed toward him again. The person recording could be heard whispering, "How is he doing that?" as the air stayed completely still. Some viewers said it had to be wires or a hidden fan, but others insisted it was a real display of energy control. What made it worse was the man's expression. He never looked up, never smiled, and just kept moving like he had practiced it before. Whatever it was, it didn't look like a trick. Fast-moving hospital clock. Some of the scariest videos come from the most ordinary places. This one was filmed inside a hospital waiting area around 4 in the morning. The doctor recording it said he had just finished his rounds when he noticed something strange about the wall clock. The minute hand was spinning at an impossible speed, going around and around like time itself was being fast-forwarded. There was no sound, no vibration, nothing to suggest a mechanical fault. Then, just as suddenly as it started, the hand stopped. The clock froze completely. The second hand stuck mid-tick. The doctor whispered, "What is going on?" before the camera started to shake in his hand. When the clip surfaced online, people tried to explain it as an electrical glitch, but others weren't convinced. They said the clock wasn't broken at all. Something unseen was moving it, something that wasn't supposed to be there. Frozen Street Stranger. Videos of glitches in reality are easy to fake, but this one felt too natural to ignore. A man filming from his apartment window noticed a pedestrian standing in the middle of the sidewalk, perfectly still. Cars passed, people walked around him, and no one seemed to notice anything strange. The man didn't blink, didn't sway, didn't even breathe. He just stood there frozen, staring straight ahead. The person recording whispered, "Why isn't he moving?" and kept filming for over a minute. When the man finally moved again, it wasn't gradual. He simply blinked once and started walking as if nothing had happened, like someone had just pressed play. The clip spread quickly online, with people arguing about hypnosis or time distortion. But most viewers agreed on one thing. If that was real, it looked less like a medical issue and more like a glitch in whatever reality we're living in.